Out of all of the crazy driver market moves that went on during the 2020 and coming into the 2021 season, there was one that surprised me more than any other. Not Ricciardo moving to McLaren, not Sainz switching teams to Ferrari, and not Alonso coming back to Formula 1. The announcement that surprised me the most was that of the renewal of Raikkonen and, most importantly, Giovinazzi. Now that his time in F1 is coming to an end, I think it's time to look back on it, and apart from analyzing his results and comparing to his teammate, I thought I'd give you my outlook and opinion on what ended up being one slightly promising but overall underwhelming career. After having finished P2 on the GP2 series in 2016, only 8 points behind Gasly, he signed with Ferrari. That's every Italian kid's dream. And in December, he was made the official third driver of the Scuderia, at a time where the Ferrari Driver Academy had lost Bianchi, Perez and Stroll, yes, Stroll, and before signing Charles Leclerc, Giovinazzi's move to F1 just made sense. His links to Ferrari meant that when Sauber driver Wehrlein was unfit to race at the 2017 Australian Grand Prix due to a back injury sustained at the Race of Champions, Antonio was given a call. And for the first time since Trulli and Liuzzi retired in 2011, the Italian flag was back on the grid. Giovinazzi had taken part in testing with the Sauber team for the 2017 season, therefore it's no surprise that he was right on the pace, qualifying just behind teammate Ericsson and finishing ahead of McLaren Honda driver Van Dorn in 12th place. It was quite a successful first weekend, which made his hope for points at the second event in China less of a pipe dream even with the super slow Sauber. At the first and third practice sessions, he was dead last at the soaked Chinese circuit, with FP2 being cancelled altogether due to the weather. Come qualifying, his final lap of Q1 was interrupted meters before the flag as he lost the rear and swung the car into the wall, completely destroying it. The red flag meant that he got through to Q2, but due to a penalty for a gearbox change, he started in P18. Still, this didn't make much difference, seeing as on lap 3, he made the exact same mistake as on Saturday, crashing in the exact same spot and putting him out of the race. His full-time Formula 1 debut came 2 years later in 2019, with the newly renamed Alfa Romeo team, partnering new arrival Raikkonen. Now, I've already talked about Kimi at length on his dedicated video, but what I'm getting at is that his speed had decreased significantly since the 2014 season, being outraced by his teammates in 88% of races on his second stint at Ferrari, between Alonso and Vettel. He was intended to come in as a helping hand. Having the longest Formula 1 career ever, he was brought in to provide crucial knowledge gained only from experience. And alongside a fast rookie, it looked to be a promising few years trying to push Alfa Romeo to the top of the midfield. By the fourth race, Kimi was sitting in 6th, after having scored points every single weekend, while Antonio would have to wait a further 5 races for a P10 finish. Crashing out of P9 with only a few laps to go at Spa almost sealed the Italian's fate at the Alfa team, when team boss Vasseur said after the race, "We had a tough discussion with Antonio, because these kinds of things can decide your career. We were thinking about the future, we had to sit down the week after and discuss the situation." Giovinazzi finished his first season in P17, with 14 points, 29 less than that of Kimi. This can be forgiven seeing as it was his rookie season, but to prove his worth, he would have to at least outrace Kimi consistently for 2020. The delayed start of the 2020 season put a lot of stuff into perspective. While Kimi stayed home with his family, Antonio had a head start when it came to fitness and preparation coming into the Austrian Grand Prix. But out of the 8 points Alfa got as they slipped down the pack, 4 were Kimi's, which means Antonio didn't outscore him really. But oh well, at the back of the grid points are scarce. Let's see what the results are for overall races. Okay. Yeah. So Giovinazzi was outraced, and I had to double and triple check this, 12-5 during the 2020 season. And I'm not saying that he has to outrace a teammate like Russell or Leclerc while he's as speedy but not quite as fast, say, Latifi. I'm talking about a young Italian promise losing heavily to a way past his prime 88% outraced in 5 years driver. Yes, Kimi is a champion, but just look at the numbers. In his time at Ferrari, Vettel outraced him 87 to 15. 87. The next 2 years, Leclerc, another young Ferrari driver, beat that same Vettel 22 to 16. Showing that, no offense to Vettel of course, he isn't some kind of unbeatable racing god. As he stated when referring to Leclerc's pace, at the moment it's beyond me, it's not just beating, it's like another league. Giovinazzi was kept in place for the 2021 season, while drivers like Aylot, Schwartzman and Schumacher would have killed for that seat. Nevertheless, he was given an extra year to prove himself. There was no good start to the season, not any close points, no way for me to sugarcoat that in the year Kimi decided to retire. Out of the 18 races they both competed in, Antonio hasn't outscored nor outraced him. Even after missing 2 races, Raikkonen outscores Antonio 10 to 1 points in the championship, with 10 to 8 for Kimi as well when it comes to race results. An ultimatum was given to him before the Turkish Grand Prix. At the time, the only seat left to confirm for 2022 was his, and he had to prove that he deserved to stay. Giovinazzi finished ahead of Raikkonen at that and the next event in the US, but after a P11 while Kimi bagged a P8 over at the Mexico circuit, was enough for the door to close. It would come as no surprise for everyone apart from Antonio himself when his contract wasn't renewed for 2022, choosing instead to bring in current Formula 2 runner-up and Alpine young driver Guan Yu Zhou. Lashing out against the news and his team, he posted on Instagram and on Twitter criticizing the decision, saying that it was all because of money. Amidst these comments, team boss Fred Vasseur had some harsh words of his own, with "honestly, I'm not a big fan of this kind of attitude." Also because the Sauber team gave him the chance to do 3 seasons in F1 and Alfa Romeo gave him the chance to do 3 seasons in Formula 1. Tons of drivers would have dreamed to do it. In my opinion, Antonio's comments are just insane. Whether there was money involved or not in the decision to get Zhou, it was way past Giovinazzi's time in the sport. The Chinese driver was going to be just one more of many young talents to be pushed aside to give him an extra chance, when he has proved that although he can be quick from time to time, he's clearly never going to become a Formula 1 world champion. The Alfa Romeo plan from 2019 on to bring in a wealth of experience in Raikkonen and some rookie talent in Giovinazzi was a formula that finished with a point decrease of 80% and a drop by 1 position in the championship from 8th to 9th. And with the abysmal Haas looking forward to challenge them in the coming 2 races. Let's just hope the Bottas-Zhou combination is what the team need to start to be competitive again. As for Giovinazzi, he will be making the switch to Formula E to drive for Dragon Penske, and I wish him the best of luck. This is going to be it for this week's video. As always, if you haven't subscribed so far, hit that subscribe button, like the video if you liked it. I'm sorry I was absent for like a month there, but yeah, I'm just finishing university finals as of now. Expect the next 2 or 3 videos to be a bit sporadic like this one, seeing as my schedule is like this. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.